right? What the person is intends or wears, but what is the ruling of a person to enter into the state of ihram within these mawaqit?
Okay, so the ihram itself is one of the pillars of that pilgrimage. Entering into the state of ihram is one of the pillars of the pilgrimage. Meaning that if I don't enter ihram, I can't perform Hajj or Umrah. Quite simply, it's that important. As for the when you did it or where you did it, this is a different issue. There are some different rulings concerning that. But you actually entering into the state of ihram is a rukun, is one of the pillars of the pilgrimage that you're going to make, whether it's Hajj or Umrah. No. And if it is not there, then you don't have it. Let's say, for example, a person goes to one of the miqats and doesn't enter ihram, puts the clothes on, goes with the bus, goes with all the people, and then they perform, and then the person says with certainty, full assurity, he says, you know what? Or she says, I didn't enter the state of ihram. I forgot. What's the situation? It's like a person who didn't have wudu before their salah. You didn't have, or the person, it's not, you know, if it's not there, then you can't validate that particular act of ibadah because it wasn't there. Okay?
I have to go back out.
You would have to, these are different rulings now, whether you're performing Hajj or whether you're performing Umrah and whatnot. But the person would no doubt have to, wherever they are, maybe have to go outside the haram itself, maybe assume ihram from there, and then perform the pilgrimage that they intend to, inshallah.
Of course, we take our deen, you know, sami'na wa ata'na, we hear, we obey. We don't question why, and but perhaps maybe we, you know, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, mentions to us in the Quran many places, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to us also, sometimes there's certain benefits, and you know, why a person is to be in that state of ihram outside the miqat. Is there some sort of benefit or ifada from that?
So a man, he came to Imam Malik rahimahullah, the great Imam of Darul Hijrah, and he said, I want to assume ihram next to the grave of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, knowing that the distance between the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ to Dhul Hulayfa or Abi al-Ali is about 13 kilometers. But this individual wanted to assume ihram from beyond the miqat, which technically is valid, that's fine. You could do it from your home if you wanted to. But the sunnah is to do it from the miqat. So Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, he replied to him, said, you should not do that. Why are you doing it next to the grave of the Messenger? This is not what we were taught. He said, what do you fear for me? He said, I fear for you fitna. He said, what fitna? And the person I was thinking, fitna, what? What kind of test could be coming to this person assuming the ihram from this particular place? Do you think that by assuming your ihram from this place, that the Prophet didn't assume from that place that you were doing something is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Imam rahimahullah recited to him a verse in the Quran, which is in Surah An-Nur, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the meaning, says, and give a warning to those people who go against what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had commanded, an yusibuhum fitna, that a fitna would be befall them, or yusibuhum adhabun alim, and tusibuhum fitna, or yusibuhum adhabun alim, a fitna would befall them, or a great punishment. The point is not that it is allowed for you to do that, but why don't you follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Okay, do you think that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this world not having the deen of Islam complete? No doubt it is complete. So just following what the Prophet ﷺ is the most beloved thing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't think that because I'm going to assume my ihram from the grave, I want to be close to the Messenger ﷺ, that somehow is better. I mean, maybe a person has some love for the Messenger ﷺ, which is of course praiseworthy, but what is blameworthy is the way that you are doing it. And this is what is very important for us to understand, that there are praiseworthy aspects of our deen, loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, loving the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, al-kayfiyya, but how you're going to do that may be blameworthy. This is why studying the fiqh of Hajj and so on and so forth is extremely important. That your Hajj is fine. and we will take on later inshallah ta'ala, that the many companions came to the Prophet and said, I did this first and I didn't do it in the right order. And the Prophet said, La haraj, if'al, la haraj, no problem, no problem, no problem. This was concerning people who had already made a mistake. They couldn't change it. But there wasn't a great issue over that. This statement, la haraj, meaning no problem, is not something we should take lightly, especially with Hajj. That maybe the person has memorized the hadith and says to the person, oh, I assumed my ihram from the grave of the Messenger. So the person says, la haraj. No, there's a reason a person did that. Why did they do that? And the answer of Imam Malik rahimahullah was so profound in the Quran, warning a people to go against what was taught to us by Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Messenger.